Hi everyone! Today's video I am gonna show you how I upcycled this old sweater with stains and made a beautiful flower sweater. So I found this sweater at the thrift shop. As you can see, it has a huge stain at the front. I only bought it for like €3 and it was really big and warm and cozy, and I decided to do an upcycle project. I went through all of my leftover fabrics and items I didn't wear anymore, and I decided to use them for this project. I saw an Instagram video of a girl who made a beautiful flower sweater, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I had to recreate it. First thing I did was draw a flower just on paper to see which size I liked and which shape. And for the middle part, I tested out different sizes and I really liked this big one. Yeah, so I'm gonna use this one, and of course I had to try if it was big enough to hide the huge stain at the front of the sweater, which it did, so yeah, that was perfect. I grabbed a leftover piece of cardboard, and I'm tracing the flower and the middle part of the flower on the cardboard because it's more sturdy, it's more firm, so it will be easier for me to cut out everything from the fabric. I was so excited for this upcycle project. I think it's gonna be so cool. Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. Took a little bit of time to cut out my cardboard flower and middle part, and once I cut it out, it was time to cut out all the flowers. I gathered leftover pieces of fabric or old items I didn't wear anymore, and I laid everything on my sweater to determine which colors I was going to use for the flowers. And I didn't go for the bright yellow. I didn't really think it matched. I decided to use the white for the middle part and use these three colors for the flower. It's all my favorite colors! I always have a big pile of leftover fabrics. Like this one, I already used part of this top for another project. And now I'm gonna use the rest of it for this project, which is awesome. I'm also using some leftover pieces of fabric. The purple fabric are some sleeves I cut off a top. And I think it's a really cool way to reuse stuff you don't wear anymore and make something new, something cool. Yeah, this whole project was a little bit time consuming, but I think the end result is so worth it, so stick by me please. I cut out 6 yellow flowers, 6 pink flowers, and I think 4 purple flowers. They're looking cute. So here I got all my yellow flowers ready. And after this, I also cut all the other flowers. Yeah, they're looking so cute. Now all I had to do was lay them out on the sweater and determine where I wanted which color on the front, but also on the back, because I'm gonna do both sides. And yeah, basically I pinned them into place. And you can already see how it's gonna, like, the vision is coming to life. And it was time for me to start sewing. I use different types of thread. So for each flower there's a matching thread color. So I'm gonna switch a lot during the sewing. Looking back at this, it's probably not the not the smartest thing ever, because I'm doing this with a normal sewing foot, and you also have like embroidery, like freehand sewing foots for your sewing machines, which would have saved me so much time, because as you can see, the flower the stitch is a bit pointy. Yeah, I was getting scared at this point because it's not like a smooth line, because I had to really move the fabric and then put the sewing feet up and then move the fabric a little bit, sewing foot down, sew a little bit, sewing foot up, move the fabric, sewing foot down, move it a little bit again. It took forever. And I think if you have like a freehand embroidery sewing foot, you can just move your fabric freely, and it would have been much easier and saved a lot of time. But I didn't realize this. I already started this project when I realized this, so I would definitely recommend getting an embroidery foot for your sewing machine. I'm gonna get one myself as well. But I didn't have one, and I also kind of like that it's not perfect. I didn't need this sweater to be perfect, and I don't know. I also like that it's a mess, because I'm a mess. No, I don't know. Maybe a little bit sometimes. Yeah, I also started with the middle parts, and as you can see, also it was also really sort of squared. And then I basically spent the whole night. I think I spent like 2 whole days sewing with my new hair. Don't care. Yeah, and then just going round and round and sewing all the middle parts onto the flowers. I always get in a really nice flow when I start sewing, and I completely forget the time, and I forget to eat and to pee and whatever. I just get so focused, even when it gets a little bit repetitive, which it did with this project. But luckily I listened to a very cool podcast which got me through this whole sewing project. It's called Witch. It's from BBC and I really love it. 10/10 would recommend. And then after 2 whole days of sewing, I sewed on all the flowers, all the round middle parts. I cut off all the threads that were still hanging loose. And then, my lovely people, it's time to show you the result of the beautiful flower sweater. And I must say, I was so surprised with how it turned out, because I knew from the start it wasn't going to be perfect, and it was going to be chaotic and messy and wobbly. I don't know, but look at this sweater. Look at this. It's so cool. I am so happy. It's, I think, my favorite sweater ever now. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you got to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's so cool to show all the cool stuff you can do with old clothes or items you find at the thrift shop. And yeah, you can very easily make boring items super cool and unique. And yeah, I hope this inspired someone to also make a flower sweater. If you do, Let me know in the comments. Hope to see you soon. Lots of love. Bye!